I'm going to the movies with my parents. It's currently 4 p.m. and it's just like a spontaneous trip to the movies. It's a Hindi movie, the new Ranbir and Shraddha. I haven't seen the trailer. I have no idea if it's gonna be good or bad, but I think I just need to leave the house, so that'll be fun. I'm not gonna do my whole makeup because my skin needs to breathe, honestly. No one's gonna see me at the movies. Like, I have no reason to do a full face right now, but I do like doing my eyebrows. But regardless, today I was thinking about things, and there are so many reasons why a relationship can end. Like, an infinite amount of reasons why a relationship can end between two people. Every time a relationship ends, like, the general consensus is like, it's a lesson. You learn from it so you don't make the same mistakes again that you did and the other person did, you know, both sides. But if a relationship can end due to infinite possibilities, we can't live out all of these possibilities in one lifetime. So no matter how many lessons we go through, there's an infinite amount of other ways things can go wrong in your next relationship. I know this is a horrible outlook to look at things, like you're never gonna, it's such an anxious attachment style. I can just hear myself, but it's a true thought. There's almost, I mean, I already knew this, just never a guarantee that any relationship will ever work out. So why do we keep trying to learn these lessons, get into relationships again, and try not to make the same mistakes? And it could work out, or it could just end because of a reason you couldn't even comprehend. Your past self could never comprehend that a relationship could end because of this reason. So, like, what is a person supposed to do? I feel like I'm supposed to talk through these things in therapy, but my therapist has canceled on me twice now because she's sick. So she's sick, I can't do anything about that. But like, now I have these thoughts in my head that just need to be conveyed. I've been journaling about a lot of stuff, but this is kind of like something I just can't come to terms with. So my understanding is the best we can do as humans is to, unless a person is like, you know, abusive, verbally, physically, controlling, manipulative, like something seriously bad, they don't care for your emotions, they make you feel horrible every day, then you should obviously leave them. But you know, if they leave their clothes on the floor, if they chew their food in a weird way, you know, like those are silly reasons to leave a person or to slowly start disliking a person. I'm not saying any of these examples are from like experience, but they're just examples. Like, the best we can do as humans is just be the best versions of ourselves for someone. Trust that if we do our best and they do their best, it can work out for the rest of our lives. And if either of you don't give your best and it doesn't work out, then so be it. The thing I'm just thinking about this, just infinite amount of ways for relationships to go wrong. Like, every breakup, it's good to reflect a little bit. Like, I feel like I'm overthinking the reflection of my situation. Like, I pretty much did everything I could. Like, someone doesn't like you, someone doesn't like you, you can't do anything about that. I don't know, I think I just have to be kind to myself. Like, and I know I'm not the only person that feels this way either. Like, so many girls on TikTok, everywhere, I've gotten so many messages, people going through the same thing. Like, it just makes you think like something's wrong with you. You really start feeling like something's wrong with you. Like, you didn't try hard enough. Like, you could have been better. You could have bent over backwards a little bit more, done a little bit more. But like, at the end of the day, I have to be kind to myself. Like, you can just never be enough for some people, and that's okay. But another thing this whole experience makes me think about, like, if relationships can end in an infinite amount of ways, then you can either just be super anxious and untrustworthy in every relationship you ever enter in your life. Like, this person's gonna leave me for a reason I don't even know exists right now. Or you just have to completely trust the universe and just let your life play out the way it will, because at some point, anything you do can't change that much of what's going to happen or what's bound to happen. If it's gonna work out, it's gonna work out. If you're gonna find the person, you're gonna find the person. And if you're not gonna find the person, maybe ever, that's just the way life's supposed to play out. That's a really, really hard pill to swallow. But I'm scared to live in a fantasy thinking like this perfect person is out there for me and I'll find them one day, because I know nobody's perfect, but like, even to think that someone out there is gonna treat me well and never give up on me, you know, two things, like, it still seems just a little bit hard to believe. Like, looking at real life examples, so many people, not personally, but like when you look at celebrities and distant people, like, are divorced multiple times, some of them after multiple years. And then so many people that I know that are still together. Like, some relationships are very questionable. Some relationships, like, I wish these people get divorced because it's just that unhealthy. And some people are just making it work because they realize two people aren't perfect. And as long as they have each other's back, and they can make it through life. And it's just nice to have someone to go through life with. I don't know, it just really bring into perspective for me that, like, love is a privilege. And not everyone gets to find it in their lifetime. It's really, really sad. But it puts more emphasis on, like, creating a life for myself that I love, and that if I die, I'm happy to say that I lived this life, regardless if I have someone in the future or not. I don't know, this was just really, really, really deep. Like, this is stuff I discuss with my sister and my closest friends. I just thought maybe I'll put it in the video, maybe I won't, I don't know. But that's literally all I'm gonna do in terms of makeup. Maybe I'll put a little bit of lipstick on, but I'm just going to the movies. I just came back from watching the movie. It was called Tuju Di Memakar, and I hadn't seen the trailer. I had no idea what kind of movie it was, but surprisingly, I really liked it. Okay, but I have a lot of thoughts to share about the movie. So if you haven't watched it and you don't want spoilers, then you should probably stop watching right now. If you have watched it, or if you don't care, then I'm gonna give you some spoilers. It's pretty much about a guy and a girl who fall in love. The guy's head over heels for this girl, and she falls for him too, and they're on vacation. Then the vacation ends, they come home, he introduces her to his family, like complete professional Indian introduction. Family loves her, she loves family, and then from that point forward, the family unintentionally starts hijacking her whole relationship with this guy. Like, they're there in all their dates, the guy is always bringing her home, like, the family is giving input about how she should live her life, if she should quit her job or like change her doctor, or like, you know, every little thing about her life was getting hijacked by this family. And they were really loving. They weren't doing it on purpose. They thought they were helping her, and the guy was oblivious to how this was making her feel. He was really happy to be around his family all the time and have her be part of his family too. And then she just knew that she wasn't happy. She wants a life of her own with this guy, but she knows it's too much to ask for a guy to like distance himself from his family for her. Like, you know, she doesn't want him to like not be in contact with his family anymore, but like to just put some boundaries in place. She was really hesitant to ask of that, so she decided to kind of disguise a whole different reason for the breakup so that he would never have to pick between her and his family, because she knew that was unfair to ask of someone. And they broke up, and 8 months passed by, and then they come back in touch because of a mutual friend. This time she tells him the reason. It was the family. And the guy is like, "You were right, I can't leave my family for you. They're my source of happiness. They love me, that's why I can love you. And I can never give you your own house and your own life. Like, you can only either find happiness in my family or we stay broken up." And she said, "I guess we just want different things in life." And she walked away from him, he walked away from her. And then the guy's family found out that they were the reason for the breakup. And so the family tell the guy that they don't want to be the reason for the breakup. They convince him, like, she's really sweet, you know, you kind of need to be your own man and provide for her, and that they'll all still be family regardless. And his whole family and him rush to the airport and stop her and tell her that they love her and she means a lot to them. And then she stays and they live happily ever after. But here are my thoughts on the situation. It was just so real to some things I've experienced in real life, situations I know of relatives and other people, especially Indian community. Like, I'm only talking Indian community here. The girl always has to sacrifice so much more than the guy. Like, the girl had to be away from her family, leave her family to be with this guy all the time. The guy was never hanging out with the girl's family. And when the guy said that his family is his source of happiness and they make him happy, that's why he can make her happy, like, the movie never touched on the fact that maybe the girl's family is a source of her happiness. And if she's away from her family, how can she make him happy? You know, like, everything that they depicted could also be true from the girl's side. But at the end of the movie, to make the relationship work, the girl still has to sacrifice her happiness to be with the guy. And it's such a common theme. I've seen TikToks about it, of brown therapists, lady therapists, talking about how this is such a reoccurring theme in Indian families. And I've genuinely just been through something like this. And no one's evil in this situation. Like, you love your family, you love being around your family, that's not a bad thing. And his family in the movie is, like, really kind. Like, no one's trying to be evil, but there's no understanding the situation from the girl's perspective happening by anyone else. But in the movie, the family, especially the guy's mom, understands the situation from the girl's perspective, which is why it ends up working out for them. But in real life, that does not happen. And I was talking to my grandma about this whole movie, because my grandma is wise and she has a lot of wisdom. And we were discussing how, like, mother-in-laws who, just ladies who don't or have never, or for the majority of their lives haven't lived with their mother-in-laws, are oblivious to the fact that how their presence in their son's family, married life, or relationship can affect the girl so much. But women who have lived a long periods of time near or with their mother-in-law really empathize with their daughter-in-laws in the future. And they're so much kinder, so much more aware of how their actions and interferences affect their son's married life or their daughter-in-law's life. And I never really pinpointed it, but it's true. Like, from my experiences, people that I'm thinking about have lived with their mother-in-laws and people who haven't, it really shapes the kind of mother-in-law they become in the future. And it's a really sad reality. I don't know if anyone or us as an Indian community are ever gonna get around to addressing the core of it, or addressing the imbalance of sacrifice and compromise from a guy versus a girl's perspective in Indian marriages. I don't know what I can do specifically to change that. I just know I can just voice, communicate my feelings to someone. If they understand, they understand. If they don't, they don't. But yeah, if you have any thoughts on this, leave a comment below. Like, I genuinely like having conversations like this with people, especially my girlies in the Indian community. It is unfair, and I can, like, no one's evil in this situation, but it is unfair. I'd like to think that someone who loves me and cherishes me will consider my feelings deeply, and that doesn't mean distancing themselves from their family in any way, but definitely understanding boundaries, creating a balance. Like, things like that are important. Like, it should never be just because I'm the girl. Things just are unfair for me and I have to live with it because I find that really hard to accept. This is such a deep YouTube video. I don't know if anyone's gonna watch this to the end, but feelings have been shared. That's all I have for today, but thank you for joining me today. I know I didn't have really cool things to film. I did not want to take my camera inside the theater because I just feel bad. Yeah, I'll see you next time.